When it ends. Hello,
Hello,
hello, and welcome to The Truth Runs Deep. I'm Callie,
and I'm Taryn.
and we talk about all things Law and Order SBU, organized crime, writing, and just about anything else. We're back!
We're back again. Sorry, we made you wait again.
Yay!
It's
It's
not our
been
fault.
so long. I mean, we talk to each other every day,
Almost
but it's been so long
we
since we
really have
talked to
to
you.
jump to It's been a hot
It
minute.
has.
Our lives were very busy and stressful, and we didn't record anything. Like, we went,
Mhm. Our lives are still busy and stressful, but we're here.
yeah, but we're making time right now to record. And our
Um,
show is almost next month. The show will be one.
Stop it. No way.
April 15th, the show will be one.
Oh
And we're working. I
gosh.
gotta
Our
work. I'm
baby.
working on the surprise. I'm working on the surprise things. I haven't started yet because I was having an episode, so I didn't start it. But uh, we have some surprises coming along with our first anniversary, so be on the lookout when the thing happens. Can't tell
Yay.
you what it is yet because I haven't done it yet, but soon. I'm gonna try to do it soon so we can get it, so we can get the thing in which we are creating before we post and tell everyone about the thing we are doing.
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
plan.
Before we
All
get to
right.
before we get to the shows, we have to talk about this little like tidbit because as I always say, all roads lead to Broadway, lead to SVU. Today is World Theater Day.
It is.
Or as one of our friends said, the day that was meant for me and fitted me perfectly and almost cried.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Sweet friends. So
So for
many
those
sweet
of you
friends.
who aren't watching on Spotify and aren't watching on camera, I
You should watch on Spotify. You can see us.
you could see us. I dressed for
Yeah.
the occasion. I have my
So,
new, as of yesterday, new Into the Woods on because I saw the tour yesterday and um I got if you follow me on Twitter you saw, but I got to see my one of my biggest theater idols live in person. The incomparable, amazing Stephanie J. Block. Um, if I haven't talked about her on here, I'm surprised because I should. Um, in she's very, very well known in the theater community for playing like the most either like badass roles or diva roles. Um, the reason I know who she was in the first place is because she played Elphaba, and as you guys all know, I love Wicked. Um, the biggest reason, well, I really wanted to see their tour just because um it was one of Stephen Sondheim's like most well-known works, probably besides Company. Um, and it was like the hottest thing on Broadway when it was on Broadway. It kept getting extended because everybody wanted to see it. And then they said, okay, we can't extend it on Broadway any longer, so we're all gonna go on tour. And so they did. And I still remember my mom texted me at work and she's like, did you know that an Elphaba was in Into the Woods? And I was like, yes, of course. Why? She's like, we're gonna go see it. And I was like, um, so the reason I bring this up and the reason that it is connected to SVU, is well, sort of. Um, Stephanie J. Block and her husband, um, Sebastian Arcellus, play the main couple in the show. So they're married in real life, and they play a married couple in the show, and it is so stinking cute and sweet. And, uh, like literally, it is my dream to see her and them together live. Um, if I had to put this into an analogy that you'll all understand, They are the Barson of the theater couples. That's
I love
how
Larson
like
and
they're literally
Establishment.
perfect. I love, yeah. That's how I described them to Terry yesterday. I'm like, you don't know who they are, but they are the Barson of theater couples,
I
and it
started
is
writing a new Barson fic. We'll talk about that in a minute. Started it
blame
up.
the show, y'all. I literally got out of the
Not that
show.
Barson fic. I mean, yes, that fic, but the one we started before
Uh,
that.
I don't know. We've done a lot lately. I don't remember which one
I need
exactly.
your help. Well, I need your
Oh
help
yeah,
is
that
outro. I'm
one.
about to
Duh.
leave now. It's
Oh,
only got
anyway, no,
1,000
I
hits.
literally got out of the show
Such a good one. Go read
and I
it.
texted Taryn, oh, by the way,
Like, I
your
have
show
an idea. And I
gave
was like,
me
oh,
ideas. Take this as
yeah, we
take
worked on
this
that.
as what you will. Um, so yeah, I love her so much. Like, and also, um, I don't know if I like read her Instagram post wrong or something, but or maybe I got the date wrong. But I saw something the morning of that said she wasn't gonna be there, and I was upset because I really, really wanted to see her. And as the show started, I was like, okay, this is what's happening. I'm going to see the understudy. Or so I thought, because as soon as the curtain opened, she was standing there. And my mom literally described it to me yesterday. She's like, I like the show started and I saw you go like cover your mouth
You don't
in
have a wild
shock.
reaction like that in a while.
I literally my world stopped for a second because I was in like, oh my God, she's here. I would recognize her anywhere. But I was so like anxious and everything, not wanting to get my hopes up. I was also like, is it her? Is it her? And then she started singing and I was like, oh my God,
You're very excited about this. You told me you were at the
it is.
FaceTime me to tell me the story.
Yeah, her voice,
This is the cozy
I know
stream,
her,
so
I
don't
would
mind
know
me.
her voice anywhere. And I immediately turned around to my mom and I mouthed, "It's her." And her jaw
Mhm.
dropped. Because I had told her I was disappointed in it. And so yeah, I saw like the most cute, sweet, amazing, talented theater couple in the world um last night, and my idol, and I still can't get over it because she sounds exactly like she does in recordings, but better. Like
Oh, it's better than
well, yeah, obviously.
first.
And
It was moving stuff again. Sorry.
I would literally like was just in full blown on during her solo during act two. Oh, so good. And she liked my Instagram post, so I was having the best day ever yesterday. And I can officially say that I saw her live, and if there's ever a chance for me to see her live again, I'm taking it 100%. Um, I
You have to
described
give
it to you and to my mom as I have three huge theater idols in my life, and
Mhm.
honestly, idols in general. And I said they're Adina Menzel, Raul Esparza, and Stephanie J. Block. I have seen two out of the three now. One more.
You wish you could
One
see
more.
it. What was I gonna
Well,
say? I
I need to
forgot.
see Raul
Oh,
now, but I
I
will
did see
not.
a play. I mean, yeah, we did. I did go see a play at the beginning of last. I mean, that was 2 weeks ago. No, right when spring break started. And my friend was in a stage reading, and my friend of my professors was there, and she was sitting like on the like opposite row. And I hear her whisper my name, and I like jumped, and she was, and then my friend sitting next to me was like, I think it was a lady over there, and I was like, oh, and I was like, hey, Doctor such and such, and I was like,
I want to see. I want to see Stephanie J. Block again already, really bad. Like, if you
we
have
love
not
theater.
listened
Y'all don't
to her,
understand. We have a big appreciation for theater around this
go.
establishment.
If you have not listened to her, go.
You made
She's a
me
Tony winner,
go.
y'all. That's another reason why I wanted to see her, because she's a Tony winner. Um, it took like 3 nominations for her to get one, but she finally got one. Um, Yeah. Oh,
Mm,
she literally, like, this is how amazing she is. She literally went from playing Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard at the Kennedy Center, who has been played by legends such as Betty Buckley, Glenn Close, Patty
Betty
LuPone.
was speaking. That's off the subject, but on the subject because that's for you. I think
I
Betty's
know.
was going to an episode pretty
Yay,
quickly.
Betty's coming back. Anyway,
She's
so
coming back. I don't know when. You figured it
she
out when,
played a
but
role
we'll get to
by those also
that.
played by those legends, and then
Betty.
went straight from that to Into the Woods. And yeah, yeah. Okay. I think that's that spiel. Oh, to connect it back to the shows, Danielle posted
Yeah,
something for
that's what
World
World for
Theater
you
Day,
today.
and she's like, I haven't made it to Broadway yet. And I'm like, and I was
You
like,
should.
you should.
Please.
You absolutely should.
We love
Broadway would be
Tanya.
blessed to have you. I have a list of roles in my head that I would love her to play.
Listen, and our friends always. This is not related to that, but kind of our friends are always like, they should pick y'all the writers' room and SB. I'll be like,
Yeah. Or if
please.
I start like burning, like everybody's like,
I
oh,
dropped out of
like
college.
what has this person done? Otherwise, I'll be like, all the theater information. Here you go.
Let me hype them up for you.
Because in Danielle's post, she put a picture of her in the Heights, to which I immediately
Typed in all
texted
caps.
Taryn, oh my God, she was in the Heights. If you don't know what that is, if you know what Hamilton is, then
You should
Hamilton
know.
is written by the same person who wrote In the Heights, and that was
Yep.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's first big Tony-winning hit. And it's honestly one of my favorite musicals, and I had no idea she was in it. And so yeah, y'all, musical episode. Like, come on, Danielle's literally posting pictures of
Please.
her in theater.
Spotify really.
If
When I
it
was getting out of the car,
does.
hold on. What was the last? When like I was getting out of the car, it played when she sang "Long Time Woman."
Oh yeah, and she has a song on
Said
Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah, she's
It's
played
like
Princess
Spotify.
Tiana in Disneyland. Like, do
Yes.
I need to give you more reasons to give the people a musical episode? Do I know if Chris can sing? No. Can he?
Hopefully.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Somebody has to be the no talent person. It might.
It's
The no
honestly probably
the
as much
likelihood
as
of it's like the
it's
one
like
person with no
hysterical, it's
talent.
probably Chris and Mariska.
The no singing talent came
And
from
everybody else.
everybody else.
I mean, I don't know about Brent and Rick, but
I don't know
I
what
know Danielle and Ainsley can. Because again, I mentioned this prior the episode where they said if you could sing karaoke with anybody, Danielle was like, Ainsley. And to bring this back to the theater thing, Ainsley also came from theater. Um, her most like besides SVU is honestly most well known for the fact that in high school she was part of this competition award show called the Jimmy Awards, which is like the high school equivalent of Tony Awards. And she was like chosen from like a bunch of kids in North Carolina to go be a part of this. And as if this isn't perfect enough, she played Wednesday Addams. Wednesday Addams, Jet. It's the same. It's the same. Especially in the musical version. They're so similar, it's not even funny. If you go, there's a video of it if you want to go see it. And she's incredible. But you could also see how, like, starting from that, you could see how she had got the role of Jet. All right. Is there any other theater thing I have to share before we actually get to business?
We gotta get started on it.
Nope. I think that's it.
We wrote another. We published a new fic. It's called "I Need Your Help." It's very good. Mate, most of
Taryn
our
came
friends.
up with it. Taryn came up with an idea just
I
talking to our
did.
friends randomly, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my God,
We
we
gotta
need to
do it.
write this now."
We're on chapter 4,
And so we
and
did.
it's almost at 1,000 hits. Like people love this story.
And I was like, at first I was like, "Oh, I just jumped on her toes," and then you were
No,
like,
I was like, do it with me. Of
"Obviously, I
course,
would
I
be
would.
writing this."
It wouldn't have been as good. Like it took us.
Yeah, so
We
we
had this
we
like
posted the
somewhat of
first
like
3 chapters
yeah.
of
Chapter 4
one
is like half mostly
path.
done. Like it's missing like 2 scenes.
We have chapter 4 almost done. There is another path of the fic that if you would want
Yeah,
it, let us
yeah. Because we
know.
always write multiples.
It
Because we
might
go, what
get
if this
us,
happened instead?
yeah, it will probably get us reamed on certain
I
Twitter
mean,
pages,
yeah. We still do have
but
the whole like resistance has a whole nother path
we
that
don't
we
care.
know have not we haven't gotten to yet. Well, we've written a lot of the bad ending of the resistance, but like
Hey, we
it'll be
we originally wrote part of the alternate resistance as something
a
happens
lot of
to
it.
you know who for the first time by you know who, and changed it because we were both like, yeah, if we do that, we're screwed. And
Mm,
yet
oh
then we
well.
did it in so we're like, eh.
Yeah, well. You
Yeah,
know what? We take
you'll learn
we'll
eventually,
take
people.
our we
But
take
anyway,
our
if you
losses,
want
bro.
the other path of I need your help,
We gotta
let
get
us
to
know.
this. Well, we're kind of at the well, it kind of like the choice kind of happened earlier in the story versus in the resistance. It's way later. Like the resistance is a couple more. There's a bunch more chapters we have to get through before they do anything.
We started like branching off in a whole bunch of different resistant things. So we have a whole
Before,
bunch of stuff written. I have no idea what the timeline is right now, but
nope, because there's a bunch of chapters missing before we get there because we have to like do the thing. They gotta do the thing. Yeah,
okay.
anyway, back to Law and Order. Sorry, because we have work to do and yeah. Okay, so Law and Order it's 22 episode 16. Well, we're at 16 already.
Yeah, no,
Called
really.
Deadline. We usually get to 22 or 23. I don't know, we don't know if it's gonna be 22 or 23 this time. It depends.
I'm gonna preface this by saying this episode has triggering topics,
It
so
does, by the way. And it's mentioning anti-Semitic uh things and words are in this episode. Yeah. I
yeah.
think that's correct word. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
It
Cool.
um kind of ripped from the headlines.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So we start with this like older guy drinking his coffee in his apartment.
It's a
When
Sunday
he hears a
morning.
noise and he goes over to his window. Um, and we can see like the top of like some like spray paint.
Spray paint. I thought it was gonna be a swastika, but they didn't do it. So.
Yeah, I thought so too. At first. He goes outside and he sees it and it says Jew
Mhm.
in big black letters. And he's like annoyed. He goes back inside. He does not close his door, which I have no idea why.
And why would you not close your door? But okay.
But we don't have a story if he didn't. So, um, the next thing we know is like there's this guy who enters his house, grabs the guy, and the two get into a fight, and the older guy ends up dead.
Yeah. And then,
Then we
hit him with the theme
transition.
song. Okay. Anyway, so
Cosgrove is there, like starting the investigation, and then Shaw walks in, and Cosgrove is like, "Oh, detective, welcome back." And Shaw's like, "Yeah, I'm back."
they should have
And then he
made
sees
that
the
an
body, and he's
episode,
like,
but they didn't.
"Yeah."
Guess they were gonna skip
So
over that whole plot line, but whatever.
yeah, no, because they did a time jump. He basically came back from his suspension.
I know they could have put talked about that more, but
Oh
whatever.
yeah, they should have talked about it more, but they literally were just
They-
like, "Hey, welcome back,"
It's just
and
a
Shaw's like, "Whatever, I'm here now." Um,
yeah.
we find out that the dead guy is name is Jacob Ackerman, and he is a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter.
Mhm.
Cosgrove says the man was a legend. Now he's a headline. Later the son shows up and is like devastated at what happened to his dad, and he says he thinks he knows who did it. He's talking about this black podcaster who said, and I am not making this quote up, said he would do to him what the Jews did to Jesus.
Yep, that's what it said.
Yeah. So Shaw and Cosgrove go to talk to this guy, and they bring that up, and he's like, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like make him a martyr for his cause. It's like, okay,
can't
you
be
still
correct.
can't say that.
No.
And then at one point the podcaster Lamar is like looking at Shaw and he's like, "Look, brother." And Shaw is like, "Oh no. I'm not your brother.
Not your brother.
Your brand of I'm not your brother. Your brand of crazy is all your own." And I was like,
Yeah.
this is why I love Shaw.
He was like,
Because
no,
there's
not
some
that.
points like he will connect with other like black men and black people,
Yeah,
but at the same time he
like,
still has like a conscience and a heart. So he's got crazy guys like this. He's like, yeah, no, I may have some similarities to you, but we are not in this together. Bye. Um, we find out the Lamar just podcast for money.
kind of clickbait people.
Yeah. We transition to the precinct and Cosgrove and Shaw are talking, and Cosgrove says that because they're looking at like comments left in the podcast about the reporter, and he says, "Say what you want about sticks and stones, but words can definitely kill you."
Yeah.
They find like this guy who was like a reporter, not reporter, like a commenter, and who happened to be nearby the house at the time. They go to track him down, and my dad and I just saw the look on the guy's face. I knew that we were going to get another chain, which we did.
They chase somebody literally every
It just
episode.
happens every week. I'm used to it by now.
Every episode they chase somebody. Every episode.
And Shaw like ends up like catching him. And it's just like I would love one episode where like it's like nearing the end of the episode and they like break the fourth wall a bit and they're like, wow, we didn't have to chase anybody today.
It would be hilarious. But they're aware.
It
I mean,
would.
they made a joke. Somebody made a joke about it. I think it might have been the Law and Order. It's the cam, and they were like, they made a joke about them chasing people. They're self-aware of this.
Yeah. So they interview the guy that they arrested. And they found out that he did not kill him. He only did the graffiti because he's a horrible person.
Mhm.
We then transition to like the bigger plot point of the episode. We find out that Ackerman was researching this program. Skill Shield something. That was supposed to be like a company that was hired to do like construction work by the deputy mayor, but it isn't an actual company at all. And they were just like embellishing funds for things.
I lost track. Embellishment funds. What are they doing?
And that's why the reason why Ackerman was killed. Well, then we find out that the deputy mayor Ackerman was investigating with the help of like his friend, work partner. and then dead for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Also, then we get a time card and we realize it's January,
Yeah.
which is weird. I'm like, weren't we just in January, or am I imagining things?
Well, realistically, investigations take longer than they do. So realistically, it's fine that it was January, but it's just kind of weird because we never pay attention to it being like weeks later.
Yeah. Then they bring, because the deputy mayor is dead, they bring McAllister, the woman who was Ackerman's work partner, to a safe house to keep her safe. While Shaw and Cosgrove go to find the leader of the Shield program. His name is David Costa. David Costa. And Costa, yeah. And they stop him for a rolling stop.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know. That was not the smartest movement there,
No, it backfired on them later.
part,
What?
but I don't know, they didn't really know how else to get the guy, so they're like, we'll do
I
this.
got you.
Then because of the rolling stop, they see that he has a black eye from Ackerman fighting back. They arrest him. They get a warrant to search his house, and he has the murder weapon literally right out on display on a thing of knives by his TV, and the hunting knife is right there.
It's the weapon,
We start
the murder
trial.
weapon, right in the middle of the.
We start trial, and the defense goes into chambers with Price.
Mm-hmm.
And Costas wants the murder weapon thrown out because he wasn't arrested for murder. He was arrested for a rolling stop.
Yeah,
And Price tries to argue it, but the judge is like, yeah, you're right. And honestly, she is. If you arrested him for a rolling stop, bring him to court for a rolling stop. You can't arrest somebody and be like, "Oh yeah, you didn't stop at that stop sign, but now I'm gonna go um bring you to trial for
They
murder."
weren't supposed to do that. I don't think they can unless the weapon was in the car. They weren't supposed to do that. I think.
No. So
If it was in the
that
car, it would have
way,
been different.
so because of the ruling, the warrant is basically they arrested him. Because they arrested him, they got the warrant because of that. And then that's how they found the knife. So basically everything is null and void, and the actual murder weapon is thrown out. Then the next scene we get, I don't remember the context at all. I just was happy because Nolan and Sam were working late in his office together.
We love them. I will know Lamb Hearts. Sorry, I can't wait to talk about the trailer for next week, but that's later. So we've got
Yeah.
it.
Um,
The Zoom has like
yeah.
2 minutes, 45 minutes.
It gives me a little bit of Barson vibes and them working together, but also at the same time it's
Mm-hmm.
different because they're both lawyers and I love it so damn much and I
The
need more
lawyer
of it.
thing.
Time they work together and it's so cute and
Next week's about to go. This week's about
99%
to go crazy. We can't talk about it yet because we have to finish this one.
better. No, 99% of the time when they're working late together, Nolan has his sleeves rolled up too, and
Yeah, he has his tie a little loose and the shirt is
Sam, come on, he's right there,
Come on.
ma'am.
Come on. I mean,
Sleeves rolled up and
we do our
everything.
dance, but it's okay.
Do it.
It'll be fine. Come on, make it move
I
on.
promise you'll be okay.
I mean, we ship them hard. We got our friends to ship them. We got
Yeah, we got one of
come
our
on now.
friends to start shipping them. We had a friend who shipped them beforehand, and we joined her, and now the three of us got another friend to start shipping them.
Yeah, we got the
It's
whole.
fun. So then we had to fit their the trail continues, and they find out they have like a source of
Mhm.
like how they found out that like Costas was behind this.
Mhm.
Only problem is they don't have proof that the source is real. The only way they can get proof the source is real is if McAllister, who testified, gives up her
Mhm.
source, and she's like, I can't. Um, and something about this moment, I don't fully know what it is, but it made me like we've written Nolan like
Mhm.
soft with people before.
Oh,
But this moment made me see that it actually is true. He gets down like on the
it
woman's level.
does.
He gets down like on one knee and like to talk to her.
Mhm. He talks to her. I think it's a very. I love that little scene. Oh, did the Zoom blow up? Did it? Hello, it froze. Oh no. That kind of like froze, but the Zoom is about to explode. So, yeah, that'll be so fun. Mm,
Oh, you're
oh,
sending.
there we go.
All right,
Very
guys.
good.
This went boom, and now we're back. And while we were
Gone for
not
two
here,
minutes. For
some
5 minutes.
major news dropped.
It sure did.
Um, so for those of you who were not aware, there is this podcast that it was on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Everywhere. Pretty much everywhere.
everywhere you can listen to podcasts, called Princess of South Beach. All it is an all Latino,
Yep.
Latinx, um, created project, casted project, cultural Lat
Yeah.
Latinx, um, themes in the show.
Hmm.
Um, and we both listened to it because Raul
Yeah.
Esparza and Danny Pino were in it.
Yep.
Um, I will not give you. I will not
The spoilers,
spoil
but
it.
go
I
listen
will
to
not
it.
spoil it because
Come
you
on,
need
you
to go
need to
listen
know.
to it.
Go listen
But
to it. It's
both of
you have
their
like
characters are awesome.
they are. Well,
Um,
if you believe what you
if I
believe ethically,
had
but
to,
that's a later problem.
yeah, oh yeah, if I had to say, it is honestly probably like it's a deep role for both of them for different
It
reasons.
is.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Danny has ever played a role like this before, and it's very
It's,
much
it's
like
so good, but
it's
so
like it would be a
crazy.
very personal thing for role, this role.
Yeah.
Anyway, the
Go listen
major
to it.
news that dropped
Princess of
is
South Beach.
first we're getting a season 2
We've been waiting on this for like 2 years.
of
Actually, that's not long. It's been like a year. Wait, when did it come out? Was it last year?
there's been like there have been talks about it, but now it's official that it's coming out in the fall.
True.
And
My favorite
um they are turning it
Netflix
into
adaptation.
a Netflix TV show, and Raul and Danny are reprising their roles.
Reprising. We're very excited
Raul
about
and
this.
Danny are gonna be in a freaking Netflix show together.
And like we can't tell you the. I mean the reason. I mean there's something
I
really.
can't.
It's gonna be something interesting to see.
Oh,
We can't tell you about it because you gotta go listen to it. The
oh my
last
god, you get
episode was it was Christmas Eve 2021. That's the last episode. So it's been like over a year and a half. It's like 18
oh my
months.
god. Yeah, you just reminded me the fact that it's gonna be on Netflix and we're gonna get that scene on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And it's
Well,
Netflix.
yeah. Can't tell you
There's
what it
no
is, but
limits on Netflix.
this is when you rate the show. But
I don't freaking know what they're gonna rate the show, but depending on
because
on what they
the
rate the show,
language, it,
we might be seeing some things.
can't tell you what it is.
I
Y'all
don't
have to
know
find
why
out
I'm so
first.
excited.
We're real excited. Y'all don't,
I broke out the
y'all not listened
candy.
to the Princess
I
of
shouldn't
South
have. I
Beach.
think I'm too energized.
If you have not listened to Princess of South Beach, go do it. Like seriously, do it.
I broke out
Really.
a chocolate bar because I was so excited. I don't know if it's a good idea because now I'm
Why?
energetic. Yeah, so if you
Remind
haven't
me
listened to
on
it,
that's
go
not
listen to it, then you'll probably understand why I'm freaking out of why ooh, Netflix
why.
doesn't have limits.
You'll find
Bestie,
out if you haven't
just
listened to
like Bridgerton.
it. I mean, so it's gonna be pretty serious. Listen,
This is gonna be interesting.
it would be so funny. Actually, you'll find out. Sorry, back to work. That's an distraction.
Anyway, we got a new
Work to
oh, it should be interesting because Danny also just got casted in like another show and
yeah.
Raoul has Oliver coming up. So it'll be interesting when they're if they're gonna be doing these projects simultaneously
Shake it up.
or wait till those are done and then go do
No.
this. Mom was like, "You are so loud."
Sorry.
I'm literally texting her.
This
Exciting news
this
drop.
one.
Sorry.
Why is this? It's not feel as puffy as the last. I took your inhaler break because that's fun stuff there.
Okay.
Sorry, very
Work.
excited. No one else, no
That
one else I know
happened.
listens to the show except like how that I know that I talk to regularly, and then like our online friends. So like we talk to
Yeah,
each
our
other
online
about it.
friends and then me watch it.
Yeah,
Not nobody else that I know
that's
really watches it.
exactly. I'm alive though. Sorry, I'm asthmatic. Back to work. We were just talking
Right.
about the
Where
knife
were
was
we at?
thrown out.
Where the frick did we leave off?
We're talking about
Oh,
the knife being thrown out.
the knife being thrown out, and the woman who said she can't give her source because she, as Ackerman said, you live and die as a journalist based on your word. She can't give
Mm-hmm.
up her source because she gave her word. Um, Eventually, somehow, they get the source, and we find out it's the guy who put the graffiti
Yeah.
on the house beforehand.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, we didn't get the source at all. The
Mm-hmm.
neighbor who like witnessed it happen testified about the jacket the murderer was wearing. Costa said he donated the jacket to Goodwill a week before. And then there was this moment where like Nolan looks at Sam because he's like stuck. Like he doesn't know where else to go with his questioning. They need a big break. Um, then we find out that the guy who did the graffiti saw David Costas earlier that day because
Mm-hmm.
he threatened him with the hunting knife before he went to go kill Ackerman.
Yep.
Um, so the only problem is they need to talk to him because they need him to testify. He's literally all they got. Only problem
Yep.
is he's not a good person
No, he's a
either.
neo-Nazi. He's a
He put
neo-Nazi.
a young Jewish woman in the hospital. Simply and attacked her simply because he was
She
Jewish.
was, yep.
She was
What was
Jewish
that for?
by mistake. She was Jewish. And we find out he's basically he's a white
He's a neo-Nazi.
supremacist.
He's a
Yeah.
neo-Nazi.
Um, and I wrote down this one line specifically because they said the guy's like, yeah, I'll testify if if these charges get dropped. And then Sam says he put a young woman in the hospital and you want a free pass? And it's one of the Sam didn't have a lot of big lines in this episode, which I'm a little
She didn't
annoyed
say
about.
very much at all this episode, actually.
That so she was angry, and rightfully so, because in real life, we don't know about character wise, but in real life, Odelia is Jewish.
Yeah.
And she has spoken out on her social media and in public about the anti-Semitism in the world right now. So for an episode that is affected her personally,
We couldn't.
they dropped the ball in giving her
They could have,
any
but they did.
reaction or anything or screen time about it
Yeah.
besides that line.
Yep. Could have done better, sorry.
So yeah, the guy's like, I'll testify if I get out of these charges. And then there's a conversation of Nolan and Jack talking. Jack is saying that she should do the deal, and Nolan is like, no.
Yep.
Neo-Nazi, and the girl that he attacked is in the hospital with a broken jaw and spine.
Yep.
And Nolan is like, I'm not sure it's worth winning like this. And
Yeah,
Jack
it's
said,
not worth
tell
it.
that Ackerman's son.
You're like,
And Nolan begrudgingly ends up accepting the deal and lets the guy walk on the charges so he can testify. He's not happy about it latest, but during the trial we continue, we talk about because still ugh. One sec. Jack and Nolan in their conversation, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the because of like the fake company that was supposed to, it was a fake construction company that was supposed to fix things in like this building. Well, because the company was fake, it never got fixed. So there was like this big fire that happened in the building that killed a bunch of people, including 3 children.
yeah, but like fire doors or whatever were installed properly.
So Jack is like, yeah, we could keep this guy in prison and he'll go away for what he did to this girl. But then Ackerman's son won't get justice. There will all the people that
He
died
kind of wants to pull more of like a
fire because of
utilitarian,
Costas.
because he kind of wants to make this like utilitarian argument, which is like utilitarianism is the greatest good that bad on North people. Yeah, correct.
And Nolan is like, I don't want to give us. Nolan is like, I don't want to give.
I should know this.
Yeah. Nolan is like, I don't want to give a sweetheart deal to a white supremacist.
Utilitarianism.
And then Jack said, "You're the,"
Yeah,
and he says, "You're the one who has to live with your choices." So yeah, Nolan begrudgingly goes with the deal. The defense attorney brought up the dismissal, and then Nolan goes to like question his witness again. And he literally brings up the fact that the guy is a neo-Nazi.
Yeah,
But at first I was like, dude, what are you doing? Nobody's gonna want to believe him if he's a neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
But he uses it in his favor. And the guy is like, so Nolan is like, okay, if you're neo-Nazi, then why are you testifying on a Jewish guy's behalf? And the guy's like, if I'm being real, I hate that I'm testifying. I have no beef with that guy in regards to Costas, but I saw what I saw. He saw the guy in the jacket that was described earlier in the episode go into Ackerman's house and come out after Ackerman was dead. And well, he's found guilty. So all's well that ends well. And then Nolan walks out of the courtroom and the guy like makes like a cheeky comment like, "Oh, thanks for letting me out. Thanks for letting me out." Nolan walks up to him and he says, "You commit any crimes moving forward, and I will make sure you are prosecuted to the maximum extent of the law." And it was like, oh, yes. Angry Nolan is awesome. And then Sam walks right over to him and she's like, "You made the right call. I'll see you tomorrow." And then that's it. The last thing we get is him entering the elevator and leaving.
Yeah.
And then we get the promo. I did not see it at first because the Bruins were on at the same time. Dad was watching the
I was
game,
like,
and
you
I'm
missed
like,
it.
Dad, you're missing the promo.
You was like, you was like, you're
And I want to
missing good
preface it by
news.
saying I will watch the Bruins game anytime, unless it's on a Thursday.
So next
Then the
day, that
shows come
Thursday, you
first.
won't be watching this. Sorry, this one.
Um,
It's, it's called. It's called Bias.
it is. Oh, I get to bring up more theater things. Let's see.
So, and basically, basically, what happened is Nolan is walking somewhere, and I like look at where he's walking, but he stumbles across a woman who has been shot, and then they were like, "Did you do this?" And he was like, "No, I didn't do this." This is basically the problem. Hold on. Yeah, this one was he called for
Yeah,
911.
the promo is like he sees it, he calls 911 immediately.
Yeah, they want him to take the stand. They're accusing him
And then
of
Cosgrove and Shaw are like brought in to like investigate it, and then they're like
yeah,
they see Price and it's like, "What are you doing here?"
yeah,
It's like, uh, found the body, and later we
yeah,
get a very angry Jack who's like, "You saw the body?"
yeah, yeah, yes.
And so we've seen Sam on the stand before.
It kind of like
This
the
is the
like
first time we've seen.
Texas, like the accuser becomes the accused, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
it's not looking good.
and so no one's on the stand,
Yeah,
and Sam is first chair.
yeah, because he's just
Which means
fucking
we get to see Sam
in
questioning Nolan
action.
for a case.
And I said, oh, they
I
better not
can't
make it the last 30
wait.
seconds. They're gonna scream.
I'll cry. Yeah, literally, this better be Nolan
It better
episode,
be,
or at least
it better
at
be
least
the no lamb.
a
We better be
Nolan
the no.
episode.
Give us
So
some no lamb
here's the
too.
thing.
Yes.
We back when
Oh yeah.
the
You did
parade
talk.
musical parade revival first started,
You had
and
this
I
idea.
love
Well,
that
you
show
had
wasn't
this
it.
idea.
I was like,
And
hey, it gave me an
you have
idea.
to be very vague about this
What if
because
this
it's not
happened?
published yet. It's very vague because you can't tell you because it's
Um,
in the bad and resistant. But it's not a bad thing. Okay, it is a bad thing, but like I don't know
It's
how to
like
describe it without
similar to
using.
what's happening in the show. And I was like, oh my God, we
Yeah,
wrote this months ago and now it's
we
happening.
did. We should put us, I mean, this is we should put us in the writer's room. You were pretty.
We
We
did
got
it
pretty dang
first.
close. You did do it first, like months ago. We didn't finish it yet. We got to finish that eventually.
No,
One
we
day.
did it. We started it. We did it first.
It's pretty good because I was
Anyway,
going to
there's this musical called Parade that is currently on Broadway right
Yep.
now.
Uh-huh.
I sent
It's not
the
revived,
music.
didn't it? Yeah,
What?
it just got revived. Did it just like come back?
Yeah,
Because some
because
of
the
the stuff.
original production was in like the 80s and now it just got revived.
Mhm.
Anyway, I sent you music because
You did.
oh my God, it fits
You have
next
work.
week. UAT.
Well, it's not even next week anymore. It's like 3 days from now.
Did I say next week?
You did. It's not even.
Oops.
It's like 3 days from now. Which really, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be tomorrow. Because it's currently Monday. So, yep, we're real excited about this. What do we rate this episode?
3.
Yeah, I'm
Next
a
week
big.
we'll
My
probably
mom. Okay, so my mom really loves Nolan. Like for some reason, she loves Nolan. Like she for some reason could she remember his name for like weeks, and I was like, bro, if you don't remember his name, I remember remind me, ask me every week, do you know his name? Now she finally knows his name. She was really upset about the decision he made, and she's like, I'm disappointed in you, Nolan. I was like, oh. So my mom was a little upset about this. This episode was okay. I mean, yeah, it kind of like built that utilitarian argument, but then in the bad direction. So they thought this was the greater good, but really, who knows? That's up to you to decide ethically.
Yeah, it's like, do you choose the murderer or the neo-Nazi?
Yeah, it's kind of the more ethical situation. And then was it right? I don't know. It's not up for us to decide, but it happened.
All right. SVU time.
Here we go. SVU. People hate this episode, but people actually really hate this episode. But
People hated this episode. I thought it was
I kind of liked
pretty
it. It was
good.
different than an average case. People hated it, so they're like, "This was stupid," and I was like,
It was
"I don't care."
something they've never done before.
Yeah, it was different. But we're talking about why it was different.
All right, so the episode is called "The Presence of Absence."
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. So it starts off with these two friends, and they're out for drinks, and they're looking at like dating because one of them is single, the other one isn't.
one of them is married and has a kid.
Yeah, the other one. Oh, the other one likes the other friend. She's kind of into she's not a swimmer. There's a term for that, but I forgot what it is. And that's cool. I know about this kind of stuff.
BDSM?
No. Her friend who's doing the cheating, but she's also trying to date somebody because she's into there's a term for it. It's not
Swinging?
swingers because it's when both. No, swingers is when both people do it. Both people in the couple do it.
Fidelity?
No, there's a term for it. Anyway, it'll come back to me eventually. But it's a kink people have where they have a cheating. It's not exactly a cheating kink, but there's a word for it. I what it is. But yes, there's a
Anyway.
term for that.
So I
Anyway.
wrote that when I first watched the episode, the girl who played Zoe, I was like, why does she look familiar? And I figured out why, because she's been on the show before. She was also in the episode Dear Ben back in season 20, which was on the other day.
I was skipped
and I was
season
watching
20,
with
so
my
I don't
dad.
remember
Like,
happening.
hey,
Who's watching Peacock? Like my mom, probably.
Okay, so we find out. So he finds a date. His name is Klaus.
She needs a little match.
And they get into like a BDSM and roleplay-esque relationship. And she's like dressed in like this leather like outfit for him. Standing by the window, like texting him, getting his responses, and that's it. Then we transition to Olivia literally just walking in the precinct, and Muncie walks over to her. He's like, Captain. Like, she's like energized her bunny for a second. She's like, Captain. I'm like, okay.
What you doing?
What up? And she's like, I really can't call Velasco. And Olivia's like, no, you can't. Because so Velasco is still not here. Because Olivia basically gave him the ultimatum, like, figure out, turn in your friend, or this isn't happening anymore. So he still hasn't turned in his friend, and he's still not there. And Muncie is like, I really can't call him.
And she's like, no, you can't.
And she's like,
you better call your friend by next week because I kind of missed the homie. I wasn't paying attention to the promo or not.
Olivia's like,
was he in the promo? I wasn't paying attention. I mean, it was. But I don't remember. We're good. I'll watch.
Olivia's like, look, the only way he's going to get back here is if he makes amends for what happened to that father and son in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And Muncie's like,
it's discussed at the end of the last episode. If y'all don't know, well, he kind of did.
We also found out that Velasco rides a motorcycle.
He does. We thought of a little idea to use that for later.
Yay.
We haven't done that yet. That would be fun.
Then we transition to Olivia walks into her office and
the girl
Shirlish. I do not know her first name at first. Tony Shirlish is there. She has been temporarily transferred. Yeah. She's been temporarily transferred to SVU because of McGrath. So that answers the question of, are Velasco and Shirlish going to fight? No, because he's not there and she is.
Yeah, I guess that's a tip for it. Who knows? She's staying until he comes back, or is she gonna be there a while? We'll find out, I guess.
She talks to SVU to Olivia. She's like, I'm very much gives off teacher pet vibes immediately, and is like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored to be here. SVU is like one of the best departments. They guess have a 90% closure rate. And Olivia's like,
That's a-
wow, you know your stuff. And she's like,
mm,
why not strive 90% closure rate? Why not strive for 100? And Olivia like is like a little surprised at first, but then she like smiles and shakes Shirlish's hand. And then
mhm,
the camera transitions to
mhm,
Muncie and Finn out in the
mhm.
hallway watching this happen. And we get Molly's first hilarious line of the night. And she
Yeah,
said,
she was so funny.
"She didn't shake my hand when I first arrived, when I first
Because
started."
she didn't, because she didn't really like you at first. I mean, she didn't like her, but she was like, she was Finn's little stray. It's,
And then Finn is like, "You're overcoming problems you wouldn't have if you were unemployed or something." Anyway, it was
I
funny.
forgot. So there's a whole
Muncie
like
like
bit
heard of
before
it.
that, and
Like
he was like,
Muncie was
what?
like hurt a bit. She's like, "She didn't shake my hand when I first started."
Somebody
Like,
made a
so it
tweet, and I almost responded,
hurts.
but I didn't want to, because I don't like confrontation. But somebody was like, Muncie's too immature, and I was like, listen, don't ever say that about
It
this
proves
wonderful
how
little
much.
being, this wonderful little being of a person. Don't ever talk slander about her again.
Huh?
I was saying somebody made this tweet. They were saying that Muncie was too immature to be on SVU, and I was like, don't
Oh
ever talk
yeah.
about my being of a person ever again. I don't ever mess
Well,
with a being.
I mean, understandable, but and I'm
I
going to
understand.
make a
She's
little
working
bit
on
of
it.
a segue to next week early, but because you kind of brought it
Yeah.
up, she's not immature.
No, she's not.
She does not have. She did not grow up with support.
Yeah.
Molly did an article the other day, and we learned that her brother is her little brother.
Mhm.
Um, and then her mom died when she was 7.
Yeah, we didn't know an age because
Yeah, we just knew
she
that her
said
mom died. We had no idea that it was
how
when she
old she
was
was when it
that
happened.
young. Like, that's like first grade.
Yeah.
So her mom died when she was 7. We don't know what happened to them after that, but Molly was like, so you're going to see why she is the way she is, and like she didn't have room to be soft.
Yeah. Don't get to this
Um,
when you're
so it's
probably
not like that. So it's not that she's immature. It's just that she didn't have a
chance to get that like
model.
part of her.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't have a chance to
She had to be the big sister that takes
be
care of
who
her
she could
brother.
be, a kid, and be who she was. She had to grow up so fast, and now because she didn't have a model when she was growing up, it's affecting her in her life.
Hmm.
The model that she has is Olivia,
Yeah, which
and
I
so
think they're gonna end up
seeing
having a
Shirley
better dynamic
Olivia,
eventually, but it's kind of rough at the moment.
she actually it's hurt. Um, okay, so then we get the Zoe and her friend walk into the precinct.
Hmm.
Zoe said she was raped.
Hmm.
Um, we find out that the guy got off on her blindfolding herself with her dead husband's neckties.
It was like
Oh,
interesting kink
also,
there, but
anybody who
okay.
says Muncie is immature and can't speak to victims, watch this scene.
Yeah,
Like,
probably
Muncie
agree
was
with that.
fully soft. She was kind of running the conversation. She got Zoe to be comfortable enough to speak with her.
Hmm.
Um, she said no, and their safe word. The guy did not listen and raped her. Um, who said this? Oh,
Olivia.
then we transition. Yeah, she's talking. She said, "Life is such an odd mix of beauty and pain. We can't control how that unfolds for the people."
We love
Oh,
is what
she's
to
talking
say.
to the
We
friend.
love.
She said,
Yeah.
because she's like, "How did this happen to my friend?" And
Mhm.
she's like, "Life is such an odd mix of beauty and pain. We can't control how that unfolds for the people we love, much less ourselves."
Probably.
Then we transition to the group talking about it, whether or not
Oh,
like
yeah.
they believe her, like what's happening.
Where's
The
my blankets? Here it is.
And then Shirlish brings up like,
Mm.
the like dynamics of like fantasies and role plays to like
Yeah.
Muncie because Muncie's something, and then Muncie looks right at her. The best I honestly the best line in the episode, and I am not Molly. So if you want to hear how Molly says this line, as you should, go watch the episode. She said, "Yeah, I got a fantasy, and it involves you going back to the Bronx." And then Shirley's just like, "Oh, is this about your friend?" And then Muncie's like, "Yeah, you recorded him without your knowledge." And Olivia is just like, and then Finn cuts in and she's like, she's like, "Do you want me to give them a timeout?"
the timeout.
And Olivia's like, "No, we're just gonna move on." But
Yeah,
oh my God, Muncie, I love you.
timeout.
Molly, I love you. You're hysterical. Her
Molly's
comedic timing is
just a
the
really
best.
precious human being, and follow Molly on Instagram. She's really a fun person to look at her stories. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
she's so sweet and
She
kind and
is.
funny and pretty.
I know you probably
Um,
wouldn't listen to this, Molly, but we really love you. Just saying.
yes,
If you ever discover us.
we love you, Molly. Okay, anyway, um,
Where are we? Oh,
yeah, so Olivia sends Shirley and Muncie off on their task. They
the
find out that the
timeout.
picture of Klaus is clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually what he looks like.
It's off of a
Um,
website from Sweden, like a kayaking company or something.
yeah, and then the big plot twist, well, one of the big plot twists of the episode, they get a phone call. The rape kit had a familial DNA hit to the dead
The
husband.
first plot twist, anyway. There was many of them.
We find out that Zoe he's got a nephew who's in med school.
Yep.
His name is Cooper, and we find out that he's a sperm donor,
Yep.
which is why
His DNA
his
out in the
DNA is on the rape kit, but it doesn't
uses the money to pay for
say
med school.
how it got there because Zoe's like, I would know it was him, I think.
Uses the money to pay for med school. That's
And
why
then we
he
get this
was
whole like, like they go to Carisi, they bring it up, and Sunny's like, I can't like test.
Mm.
I can't go on like this boundary. And he goes into this like this beautiful little speech about how reproductive rights are really important to people, and I'm like,
Yes.
yes, Aaron.
Love them. We love them. We love them who supports reproductive rights.
We're all yes, exactly. He supports reproductive rights, and I'm like, for some reason, whatever, I forget exactly what he said, but it made me think of Amanda and everything that just made me happy.
Yeah.
Yay,
We
Sunny.
read rights more releasing we haven't done that in a minute. And there was this there's I mean,
Oh, I have an idea. Hold on.
we did have we did something different for them. Their post resistance story. If you've written some of those, theirs is a little different in it. It introduces a lovely little character that we can't wait for you all to meet because this lovely little character is literally the best, and I think she is perfect in every way. Yes, we do need to do that. That's what we're missing from that, but we'll do
Yeah,
that.
we can work on it after we're done here.
Yes, we keep getting distracted by all the other fics we're writing that we haven't that chapter.
Okay, and then we like they're like determining whether or not the suspect had a pregnancy fetish or a breeding kink, which is a thing. So with the help of the squad, Zoe sets up and meet with Klaus to catch him and arrest him. So they have Zoe follow out Klaus's directions, stand in front of the mirror, window when Klaus comes in to see her. And the squad comes in, rips off Klaus's mask. It's not Klaus. It's Jenna. And Olivia immediately starts going, "Oh my god. Oh my god." Oh my
I haven't seen
god.
anything like this before.
Everybody's shocked. Grace and I think Finn are like pulling Zoe aside, and like Grace is like trying to like cover her and comfort her, but everyone's like,
Never
and
seen anything
Jenna's
like
like, I
this
just
before.
wanted you to be happy. And I was like, has the show ever done this
I
before?
don't think so. There's many
I
episodes
don't
ago.
think
I
so.
don't think this happened before.
All right. And Zoe's like, how did I not know it was her? And Olivia says it's called willful blindness, and believe me, I've had my share.
Yeah, I was like,
We're making progress. She said it out loud.
uh-huh. Which is why we don't think. I think that's the direction they were going, but they have to make it. This is an off tangent, but not off tangent about how like they have to be very subtle about like saying EO is not going to happen, or like Olivia's feelings about Elliot are very subtle because they don't want EOs to go a little crazy because the whole situation. Yeah, they weren't very nice to Warren, and it just wasn't good. So okay, that's fine. We'll pick it up later, but
All
that's
right.
fine.
We found out that
Yeah,
Jenna was trying to help Zoe get pregnant, which is why the nephew's sperm was in the rape kit.
and we're like, why did you do that?
And I'm like, this is just
But okay.
strange. What is happening? And then we have a scene of Olivia, Sunny, and Charlotte getting coffee together. And they're trying to figure out what the charges are on this case. And Charlotte's just like spouting off all of this stuff.
Very
And
smart.
Sunny's sitting there, like chill with his coffee. He's like, impressive. You know your law.
And I was like, ooh,
And then we say that there is still no rape fraud law in New York City.
because what's the episode? There's an episode where
It's not the first time brought up.
it's not the
I
first time
remember
it's
the episode title, but I remember
I'll
the
find it.
context.
Hold
There
on.
was this guy
I know
who
the
was
context
pretending to
here.
be
Give me
a
one phone.
Harvard admissions person and was sleeping with
Admissions
women
person
to
or
like, you sleep with me, your kid will get into college, but he wasn't
yep.
actually that person. He was just
Nope.
sleeping with them. Unfortunately, there was no
That
law
was
to be like rape fraud. So Barbara tried it. Sunny knows about it, and it's still not. And then
was it season 18?
we get to the trial. We get the guest star of the episode, the wonderful, amazing
The
Nia
episode is
Vardalos.
18-3 Imposter.
Ah, makes sense.
That's
Okay, so that's the first time rape fraud has been brought up. So the defense lawyer in this case is Efron Minona. I think that's how you say it. I don't know how to say her first name. Anyway, played by the amazing, wonderful Nia Vardalos, who from the My Big Fat Greek Wedding series movies, which is how I know her. Also Jasmine, who plays Shirless, like she posted a picture of her with Nia, and she's like, "Don't start quoting the movie. Don't bring up how feminist her makeover arc was, and don't make a joke about Windex." And when I tell you I'm Greek, so I love Nia, and I tell you those movies are so accurate to what happens in a Greek family. Yeah. But so Nia's back, and she hasn't been on the show since like season 15. So it was like I was like shocked that she was back. And it's such a contrast from when she first started, and Barbara was like, "This is ridiculous. I have no competition," to now her being an exceptional lawyer.
His name was about to explode again, but we'll keep talking until it does.
Zoe is like, I want to go to trial like Jen does.
Okay. Okay, so we were at the Muncie's line talking to Zoe
Yeah, so I
because
was like,
Zoe's
"I'm
really
on
upset.
trial, like my friend betrayed me." And she's like,
Mm,
"Trust me, going on the stand when you're pissed is not a good idea." And I'm
yeah,
like,
she learned it the hard way.
"Our baby learned."
Yeah, we had to play around with that
She
idea
learned the hard way because
and wanted to fix it.
Sunny was mad at her and kind of messed with
Not
the
a
case, but
traumatization.
now she knows to never do it again.
Yep.
Um,
So they go
so
trial.
they go to
More fun
trial,
stuff.
and Zoe's testifying of how like the relationship worked with Klaus. Um,
Mm. She
um,
basically like followed orders from him. It was a
yeah,
very BDSM.
and there was like never any like penetration until the night where she thought she was raped
Yeah,
by a man. And it turns out like what she thought was his
his
member,
member. Yeah.
basically, um, was actually Jenna's finger because she said like he was small.
Small.
I mean, now we know why.
Mm.
Uh, um, and then she's like, she said the safe word. She never wanted it. She never, and even more so, she consented to everything with Klaus. She didn't consent to anything with Jenna.
Yeah, which is what makes them happen. Which is why the
Um,
rape fraud rule.
yeah. Um, Efron cross-examines her
Hmm.
and brings up the fact that the two had are so close that they had possible relations in college. And Zoe's like, we never did anything, we were experimenting.
Doesn't go too good in
Yeah,
her favor. It
it
puts
didn't go
doubt,
into their
real
favor.
doubt in
They
her
all, and then
story.
I'm like, okay. I was thinking, like, she's going to lose her best friend either way. If she
Mm.
wins the trial, her best friend is going to jail. If she loses the trial, her best friend is going to be out on the streets, not thinking she did anything wrong, and her rapist is going to be free.
Yeah.
Um, then we transition to Olivia, Zoe, and Shirlish, I think, in
Probably Jones.
and Muncie too, I believe, in like heading to his office, and Crazy's like first line is like, "You didn't tell me you two had relations," and like Crazy was getting like a little angry, and Olivia was like, "Crazy, calm down." And after Zoe left, Crazy's like, "I'm sorry, but knowing this now, this like could jeopardize the case." Um, and then we find like I like that Crazy was able to admit that he knew he was getting angry, but also wanted to explain like he was getting angry because he just wants to get justice for Zoe. Um,
Hmm.
and then things get worse because it said Efron is putting Jenna on the stand. Jenna explains how Zoe basically fell into depression when her husband died, slept in their guest room, and never got up. She basically wanted to, so she started this, put her on this dating app and started this relationship because she wanted to fix her. She wanted her to be happy again. She wanted her friend to be loved again.
Yeah, which is like we're like, wasn't a good thing to do, real bad. Uh, what did we leave off? So that was it.
Sorry, I found the
Our,
tweet of somebody was like, "Who wrote this fic?"
our
And we're
friend,
like, "Us."
it was us. It was us. It was us. We still didn't finish that, but it gets worse from there. But anyway, sorry, it's another day.
And I was like, "Yeah, yep."
Yes. I don't know. We just got in trouble for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I don't really.
We've almost been friends for 2 years, but I feel like we'll talk about that another day. Talk about our friendship
Wait,
and on probably the 1 year episode of the podcast, we'll probably talk about our friendship because it's 2 years of our friendship. But anyway,
yeah. All right. And then all
uh,
this time, I wonder what the husband thinks of this because, like, Jenna
I
is
just gonna say
basically
he's
like
just
said
there,
multiple times, like, went to go be with
her
Zoe.
best friend, like without telling her it was her best friend. And it was weird.
And then Carisi is cross-examining her. And they get into this thing of like, it was dark, it was blindfolded.
How was she supposed to know who this
Say
was?
you say Zoe knew it was you, but how could she if it was dark?
Mhm.
And then Carisi is like,
You genius,
I
you.
got the thing. And he's like, he turns the lights off in the courtroom. And Efron is like,
What you doing?
what are you doing?
It
And
gave
he's
me
like,
very
oh,
much less
like
risky.
you spreading this on me?
It
Like,
gave
I'm
me
pretty
very
sure he
less
means like,
risky 25 acts vibes. The not risky version
oh
of
yeah.
25 acts. I said,
I'm like,
ooh,
Carisi is a genius. Um,
you learned.
and he's like, yeah, this is what you get for like spreading the fact that you're having your client take the stand like 10 minutes or so before we have to go back to trial.
Yep.
Um,
She wasn't originally.
and so he turned off the lights, and the judge is like, he's asking her more questions, and the judge is like, Mr. Carisi, what are you doing? Like, you're on
No,
very
he's a
thin ice
point.
right now.
I have a point.
It's like, yeah, he's like, I'm like, where is he going with this? He grabs a person from the peanut gallery, which I didn't think he could do, but okay. Grabs a person from the peanut gallery, puts the person right in front of Jenna. Zoe, Jenna thinks it's Zoe and starts talking to the person as if it's Zoe. The lights turn back on. It's the husband.
Yeah, you're like, ooh.
And we're like, ooh.
And
But
she,
here's
how do
what I
you,
was
you, how
starting
could
to
she
get like,
didn't recognize her own husband in the dark? How was Zoe
how
supposed
could
to know who's
Zoe
trying
recognize
to
her?
kill him?
Like, point proven. But also, I was like, then the husband started talking. And I was like, um, aren't if you're not a part of the trial, aren't you supposed to be quiet? Like, how are we getting away with
Nope.
him talking? And then
I don't know,
Carisi
but
just
it
is
happened.
like finishes his thing and then done. Um then we do the verdict and the felony charge, she is found not guilty, and I started getting nervous. But she is found guilty of the misdemeanor and she's shocked. Zoe feels bad, but also is like grateful. We found out Jenna can do a year in prison. And someone said, you're young, you can have a fresh start. Um, and I think Olivia said this, and he said, even if you
Mm-hmm.
do everything right, you don't always
She just said the churlish, I think, because churlish would kind of like, does it feel, how does it feel that we
like this
don't,
doesn't feel right. And she
justice
said, even if you
doesn't
do everything right,
feel.
you don't always win. Get used to it. And then
Yep.
we
Mm,
transition to the okay, so I give this episode 4 stars. It was pretty
yeah.
good.
I liked it. It was a different story that we hadn't seen before. Um,
And then
it had
just Creasy's
fun lines,
courtroom action just made it
fun
more.
some court stuff, funny lines. People hated
Yeah,
this
for
episode, but I didn't. I liked it. It was pretty good. They were like, this episode was down. I was like, listen, I liked it. Okay. And next week, well, next week, 3 days from now,
Shirlish is
24/17 is
Shirlish literally just started and she's like, let me go undercover.
It's called Lime Chaser. It originally wasn't even called Lime Chaser. It's called something else apparently, and they changed it to Lime Chaser.
which makes sense. So,
It makes more sense now.
there's this person, this guy who is drugging women at bars, drugging their drinks, and then taking them, kidnapping them, and raping them. And so Shirlish is like, let me go undercover.
Yep.
And then we get like a scene of her drinking, and then a scene of Olivia and Muncie literally like rushing out of the bar, and then transition to apparently Dick Wolf just has a thing with detectives getting kidnapped when it's their first time going undercover.
Thrown in the
Um,
cars.
yeah, oh yeah, and getting thrown in the car. So she's just thrown in the
Every
car,
time.
and he's like to this person, "Where are you taking me?" Then,
Well,
so the summary says that the um their case leads them to Muncie's younger brother.
yep.
Let me see if I
got
can find
questions.
the article that I sent you. Oh,
Yeah, the
also, I
thing is,
looked at
we
what
kind
the
of
guy
like,
looked like.
yeah.
I
The
see the
thing is,
resemblance.
we also like we had written Muncie's brother in the Resistance, and we haven't published it yet. And we gave him a whole different name and everything because we knew nothing about him when we wrote this. We wrote him very specifically in a certain way. So who knows if we'll find out how accurate we were. I don't feel like we were
So I
very
said
much.
that, well,
So
because
I
we
don't
found
care.
out his actual name.
It's not the name we gave him. If you knew that, probably
So
we were
here's
pretty sure we'd never.
here's Molly's article. It
Mm-hmm.
says Detective Grace Muncie is a good cop who handles rape survivors with empathy, but SVU's newest member is also a tough nut with, as Burnett puts it, anger issues. Her protective shell cracks a bit tonight, or in the episode,
3 days from now.
after Captain Benson has Muncie's younger brother Teddy. So we give him a name. We have made
now,
that name his middle name now.
yeah,
Brought in as a person of interest in a case in which women are drugged and delivered to men who pay to sexually abuse them. When Benson orders Muncie not to talk to Teddy, she freaks out. The actress reveals she's incredibly loyal to her brother. She's also loyal to colleague Joe Velasco, making it infuriating for her to work this investigation with on-loan officer Tony Shirless. Muncie hasn't forgiven Shirless for what she sees as a betrayal of Velasco a few episodes back. When Shirless makes a decision that could endanger Teddy, Muncie must choose how far to go to help her sibling. She seeks out Velasco, so he is in the episode, hopefully. The person she can confide in finally reveals her past. So I guess this is spoiler alert. I don't know how we got this article early, but we did. So, spoiler
Let's stop
alert, if you
something
don't want
promo
to
to
hear
let the
it.
day. I ain't gonna look for set picks, but that's a later day. Let me see if there's
If you
promo
don't want to
clips.
hear it, mute it now, and I'll raise my hand when you can unmute it.
Or
Muncie must choose to how far to go to help her sibling. Reveals her past. Her mom died when she was 7, and she had to take care of her little brother. The environment around her didn't allow her to be soft. It really makes me wonder what she grew up with that made her not be able to be soft. Like, I'm so curious of like what the why is. She says you get into insight into why she's guarded and aggressive, but Velasco brings out her softer side. It's a special friendship.
they have a sweet. They're like annoying siblings to each other, and that's hilarious
Yeah.
to me.
So we
They're,
both
they're,
we both have said that we definitely have like the platonic thing for them.
yeah.
That was in an article that Velasco brought out her soft side because they're friends, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to write it, more of it. Oof.
We do have ideas for everyone done it, but yeah. I was like, what are you trying to tell me? Sarah, I'm trying to usually cooperate. We'll update you later. But yes, we'll do that eventually.
Okay. Yes. So that's this week's episode of SVU, and I'm so excited for more
Yeah, we'll be there.
fancy information. It's late. I have work
We'll
tomorrow.
pick up
My
with
parents
your
are asleep. So
That's
we're
cool
gonna pick
tomorrow.
up with OC next time. Because I know
Hi, we're back.
it's been
Like 2
when did we
days.
start doing
I
this?
started this 2 days ago, Monday. Sorry, like
I didn't remember, guys. Like we started this Monday. I
life
was like,
happens.
we do this Tuesday? No, we didn't.
No, we went to bed Tuesday. Life happens.
This
So
is the first time we've ever recorded
on Thursday.
so
Literally, the
close
show
to
comes on in like 2 hours. The
yeah.
show comes the mothership comes on in like an hour. So
So we have to do this, and then Taryn is going to work her magic and release it, and then we're gonna go start planning the next
yeah,
episode.
yeah, literally that's literally what's about to happen. So we're gonna do this. Hold on, I gotta pull up
Yeah.
our notes. Okay, so we've already done. We did the mothership, and we did SVU.
And we did.
So we're gonna do
Now we are on organized crime, Chinatown.
Chinatown. Okay, so
It's a
the
new arc, y'all. We're
New York, because the literally show is built on arcs. Okay. Oh, it's the wrong. Okay. So the beginning, which is the best part of the episode.
it really
Which,
is, and I
you see,
have
you're not.
this.
You do.
if you know,
I also have
then
the
you know
shirt,
I
but
have
I'm
the
not
shirt.
wearing it. I also have the shirt, but I'm not currently wearing it. But
So it starts with the bureau in the bureau. Jamie, or if you don't know them by first names, Whelan is by Jet's desk, and he's like tying this banner, and you see all these balloons in the bureau, and Reyes walks into the room, and he says, he's like, his first name was wow, and he looks right at Jamie, and he says, hey man, I don't think Jet's into all the surprise stuff. And then Jamie's like, she's going to love it. Which I love the fact that he's like, no, she's going to love it. Like, he is so into this. Ugh.
the
She's going
script
to
to
love
screen to this is so funny though.
it is. And I'll get to that when we get to that. It says she's gonna love it. You remember when you made second grade detective, right? And then I squealed because I was like, oh, it's getting promoted.
Yeah, our girl was getting promoted. It was so exciting.
So I mean, yeah, it proves that yes, she was a rookie, but now she's on the same level as the rest of her squad.
Yeah, we were very excited. We were like,
The only one who isn't is Ayana because she's a sergeant. She is now. So here's the thing. Even though Whelan and Reyes came into organized crime after her, they had years of experience in
yeah,
other units.
yeah.
She was technically the only
He wasn't
true
that we know of.
rookie
Was not any
that we know
involved
of.
in activity beforehand.
Yeah, we don't actually fully know if she was a cop beforehand. We just know that like she was doing hacking stuff, and then Elliot was like, "Hey,
Next,
you should bring her here."
yeah. So that's
But
all we know. Maybe one day.
now we know that she is a Jets. Jesus, how do you say her last name? Jet Sloatmakers.
Yes, it's slow markers. Yes.
Ainsley changes it every single time. I don't think she
Yeah,
wants
but
us to know.
we're going with slow markers.
Jet Sloatmakers is a second grade detective.
Yes, we're very proud.
Yeah.
We are proud more.
We started a fic about that, but I just remembered, and we need to finish it.
So many fics that are open. It's kind of like if I wrote a list
So
of
many
all
we
the fics
literally
that are open,
started
it's
and
like
then we're like,
it's like 8 or 10 fics actually we have not finished. Like it's kind of wild how long our most unfinished story is. Anyway,
I got
I'm very
breaks
hungry, so we can
coming
get
up.
on the
Like things will change,
yeah.
hopefully. Um, and then the guys start sharing stories of like
Their
what they did when
promotions
they were
and
promoted.
such.
Reyes was like, yeah, my wife was like pregnant. My wife was pregnant with one of our kids. Um, which shows that after Elliot, Reyes is the oldest
Mhm. Well,
of the
we
young
don't really,
anyway
yeah, at least
that we know
probably,
of. Like he's got 3 kids and he's married. I'm going to assume.
yeah.
And I looked it up, and Rick is like 40, so
Yeah, we'll,
the
we'll
oldest.
see. Yeah, no one seems, nobody, they
I
don't care
still
enough
call,
to
even if he's
give
40,
plot.
I still call him the youngins because he's
Maybe,
with Whelan and Jet.
yeah,
But
we're
yeah,
like, the show doesn't care enough to give people
he's
ages,
the
just so
oldest of
you
them.
know. Nobody has
But
a,
going,
like,
but
the only
still, like,
characters in the entire series with the canon age is Olivia and Elliot. No one else has a canon age. You just have to
um,
guess,
except maybe Jet.
roughly.
I think they showed it
That's
like
not a
once.
canon. I don't think that's
No,
in
Jet
canon.
because she said she got married when she was 20,
I know.
and that was 4 years ago. So she.
Okay, they did have it. Because no one else has a canon age in the entire series. Anyway, back to work because I'm real hungry.
It's like the first time I think that we have a character who is actually the same age as
Yeah.
their actress.
Everyone else is maybe close, but we don't really know because they don't talk about it. Anyway, I'm real hungry. We gotta
Anyway, yeah,
focus.
so we're going with real the goodness with Reyes his wife being pregnant with like their second kid or whatever when he got promoted, that he's the oldest of the three. I forget what Whelan said he did, but then Elliot walks in with like a cake
He
box.
said he had a beer.
Um,
They
oh
took him
yeah,
to have a beer or something.
he got a beer and then went to sit by his dad's grave.
Yeah, that's about it.
Great.
I was like, oh, he brought please,
Oh yeah.
the
Okay.
behind the scene photo of them is hilarious. The one with Elliot's on the,
Oh
not
yeah,
Elliot, Chris
that
is on the
one.
table. It's so
They're all
chaotically
literally just
funny.
sitting around a table, and Chris is sprawled out on the
I'm like, what
table
is he doing? It's so funny,
with his
please.
behind in the air, and he's like, Ainsley made me do it, and Ainsley was like,
No, I
okay.
didn't. Yeah, please, it's hilarious. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, so that happened. And then Jamie says, you guys want to scope out your hiding places now so we won't have to scramble when she gets here.
yeah, you're like, he's
I
taking this
love
seriously.
that. Like,
He's taking this surprise
yeah.
thing real serious.
Oh, that is not what I thought they meant by hiding places. I thought they meant that when they're like, um, now that you say that, that makes more sense. But what I was thinking was if they have to scramble to find hiding places, if she sees all the stuff and she's like angry, then they have to scramble
I
to
mean,
hide.
that would be funny, but no, they were trying to surprise, and I think he was like surprise, and then it didn't happen. Please,
That makes more sense. But honestly, it'd be funny seeing all the Jet being like, "What is this?" and then Jamie being like,
runs.
slowly backing out
I don't
to a
know.
hiding place. That makes more sense. No, I thought they were hiding because they were worried she was gonna
He
give them
whips that
all
on
a death glare. That makes more sense.
his face. Okay, so then
Okay.
Jamie's saying something else
Hey,
too. I don't
honestly,
forget what he
that
said.
in regards to Jet
Okay, so what's
having
our
a double
saying? Can't
meaning,
have
Jet
it.
in regards to Jet would have a double meaning. And
Yes,
Reyes says, "It's time for you to have kids, bro."
I know. But I was like, oh,
Okay.
you're so funny.
Um,
Um,
don't know what that has to do with you having kids, but I think
I
it's
think
like,
because he was
no,
so
you're
overjoyed
so,
at a
so
surprise party, like
excited
he
about
had
this. Yeah, you have kids, so
overjoyed
you
like
can
a
do this for your kids.
father.
He
Because the
would
script to
be
screen,
a.
the script to screen
Wait,
for the
wait, we're not
next
to
scene
that
is
part
so
yet. We're
funny.
not to that
The way
part
he
yet.
described
Don't.
what he did.
Yeah, I know, but it was hilarious. I laughed. He would be a phenomenal dad, though.
He
I'm just
would
gonna
be.
say that right now. He was a phenomenal dad.
He worked on that song, but he can't tell
Um,
you when it happens or who happens with it because we haven't gotten that far yet. Soon. Anyway,
but it's not who you think it will
no,
be.
Nope. Anyway, we gotta hurry on. 6:08. Come on. I'm
We
hungry.
love it. So get
Okay.
on with it.
Taryn's
Okay.
real hungry. I'll try and get this in so I can
I'm
feed her.
sorry. I'm going to
Focus.
second and like family. Okay.
Okay,
Anyway,
anyway, sorry.
Yana comes in and she's like, no, yeah, we can't worry about like hiding places and stuff. Like she's coming in like early,
Yeah.
like right now. First off, of course she would come in early.
Yeah.
Like, Pam needs a break. She would come in early. And like, yeah, they don't even have a second to like hide or anything when she comes in. She sees everything and she immediately goes, like full on covers her mouth, is totally shocked. I was like, this is so stinking cute. But also, like we've written before, like we don't know if Jet likes surprises. Because you would feel it would seem like Jet would not like surprises. Well, she comes in, full on shock, hands over her mouth. She was surprised. She was happy. You could see her actually smiling, which doesn't happen a lot. Which reminds me, I need to go take a picture of her smiling in that scene because. Okay. And then you see Jamie with his phone filming everything,
Very daddish angle.
which is literally on the script screen. It says Jamie filming like a proud dad.
That's it.
I love that. It was so funny. But it's true though. And Jet is like, what is all this? And Elliot says, this is all for you, Detective Second Grade. And then she smiles. And I love the way her voice went soft when she said the next line. She's like, seriously? And then she turns and she sees the cake and it says congratulations Jet with a police badge in the middle. And it's like she can't believe that all of these people did this for her. This is her family. Like they did this for her and I love it. And Anna says, you earned it, and she puts like a hand on her shoulder. And then Jamie says, Jet, look in the camera. And Jet looks up and she's like, put that thing away. I'm not kidding.
And I was like, oh.
And Jamie does not put it away.
Like he's the
He
nerd.
keeps filming. And then Jet and Bobby, or Jet and Reyes, do this little handshake thing, which I love. They like, I don't even know how to copy it. Like they clap their hands together, do like this little break thing, and like a little like
I
wiggle
might have zoned out
finger
at
thing.
that part. I don't
They
remember.
have their own handshake, which is awesome.
How close these guys are. Like,
Yeah, exactly. How close they are, and also how much Jet has like blossomed since the pilot. Like Jet and the pilot would not have a handshake with anybody. Probably wouldn't even shake hands with anybody. Now she's got her own little handshake with this group, and oh, we love it so much. And then they have the deputy Thurman on the phone, and he's
he's
like,
supposed to come
I
to
wish I could be there, considering I set this all up, and everybody is like rolls their eyes. It's like, really, really, yeah, okay, sure. You're the reason why I have this promotion. Sure. If anything, besides Jet, it would be Yana.
Yeah.
Because that's a boss. Anyway. He's like, I'm gonna be over. But all of a sudden they hear shooting. Thurman was like this at this campaign event for the New York mayor with like people he grew up with, the Lee family. He's very close with them. And he hears shooting and he's like, guys, you gotta get here right now. And it's like, okay. Celebration ended, I guess. They don't even get to eat their cake.
I know, so sad.
And then they all rush down to the place. The guy running for mayor, his wife, Jennifer, was shot. And they're all trying to figure out what happened. And then a group of detectives from the fourth come in. And the new one, her name is Shane. I don't remember her first name. It's Dr. Shane. They're just talking with Ayana. And they're like, okay, Ayana's like, we're gonna do this, this, this. Yeah, and Shane is like, and this is Chinatown, Sergeant. Things work a little differently here.
Mhm.
Um,
It's up to the hospital scene. No, it's not the hospital. It's the press. I think he's. I don't know. Elliot's the
yeah.
hospital. That's Elliot's line. The next line.
Elliot says, yeah, it's to the press. It's like, how the hell did you get in here? And he's like, striving to be a decent human being is what people striving to be a decent human being is what people should be doing. Like,
Because they're like
why are you
recording this
recording
incident.
this guy literally moments after his wife was just shot and rushed into surgery?
Yep.
Be better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then they have like video evidence of like what this guy looks like. So they have Jet, Jamie, and Bobby going around Chinatown trying to figure out if anyone knows who he is.
No one will talk to him.
No one is talking to them. As soon as they bring up police or if you know who this person is, they immediately shut their doors. And Jet calls Iana and she's like, we have hit like a standstill. Nobody's talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to like their next house and Jamie literally pulls out his phone and is like, pulls up Google Translate to try to talk to these people to see if that's gonna do anything,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of smart, but also like, dude, really? People
Mm-hmm.
already know they're not from here. Like, you pulling out Google Translate is not helping.
You know.
And then they have this guy come out of this apartment building. Um, and Jet asks him, "Are you?" What was the name of the guy that thinking?
Mm.
Daniel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. I don't know if he wrote names too.
And the guy like stops and he throws this to-go bag that he has in his hands at Jet and starts to run. And you can see Jet is like startled by, I mean, if you had a bag thrown at you, you would be too. Jet is like startled, and then the two guys start chasing after the guy, and then Jet follows behind them. They eventually corner him in a alley after Reyes has jumped a fence. Um, and then there was like this small moment where both Jamie and Bobby like turn to see like Jet coming, walking over, and she's like heavy breathing, and the guys like are looking to make sure she's okay, which literally spurred in another part of the resistance. Because I
Yeah.
was like, I need
There's
this
so many
now
things.
because
There's so many
this
things to do in so little time to do them.
they care about
Chapter 8
her
is
so
coming.
much. Love it. Yeah, we're working on chapter 8 right now. Then we have things for chapter 9 and 10. We just have to put it together.
Yeah, a lot of it's just random. Anyway, focus.
Anyway, they bring the guy into
Um,
interrogation. He's like, I don't remember what they said about him insane interrogation, but they have Chain there like translating. And she says, she's like, Yana's like, okay, we got him, we know what he did, and she's like, he's lying. Then we find out that
whatever gang he was affiliated with was the
yeah, we
information he
find
said
out he
about
has
them
gang
was wrong.
affiliations, sort of has gang affiliations. His brother, he has a brother, and his brother went on two different paths. His brother has gang affiliations. He is here and is not. Um, then Chain is like, yeah, I grew up with this guy, my wife and I did like a volunteer like basketball thing in the community to get kids off the streets and away from gangs.
Mhm.
Then there's like a scene of like Jet like working at her computer, and there's congratulations balloons in the background. I love that Jet did not take down her balloons. She's
I
like,
feel like this is
nope,
all like
they're staying
roughly the
up.
same day, or maybe could be the same day. So it's very funny.
I mean, I don't know. You don't know if Jet will like take them down, but I love that she didn't. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, then we have the scene of Ayana bonding with Detective Chain, and they
Mm-hmm.
get into the conversation of how Chain is also no longer married to her wife. And you pointed out that, and they both say that they're both divorced and they're both married to their job and they both like women.
Mm-hmm.
And that Ayana gave her like this little like,
This little
how would
glance,
you
and I was like, she gave a
this
little glance, and I
little
said, "Ooh,
glance, and I was like, turn,
this is a
turn,
fool."
turn,
And I
because
was like, "Fool."
two things. A, I want Ayana to be happy,
Yes.
but Bellox and her kid, so I'm conflicted. But at the end of the day, if Ayana is happy, then I guess I'll take
Mm-hmm.
it, and we'll just have to figure out what we do with that afterwards.
We'll figure it out later.
And I literally wrote, "Oh my god, are we gonna have a thing here?" Because she's back again in this episode, so who
Yeah,
knows?
we'll find out.
And then we have a scene where this leader of this gang that Yao is talking to, his name is Zhao,
Mm-hmm.
slams Yao's head into a sink for talking to the police. Uh, but then Jet does some more detective computer work and finds the guy, and she's like, I love this scene, this line. She's like, "Oh, jackpot!" They find out the
Mm-hmm.
guy that they're looking for, Zhao, is a gang leader of the Black Tigers, who was known for like a sex trafficking case a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm sorry, I know it's a game, but the name Black Tigers is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they have JC, Jamie, and Bobby chase after the guy. They lose him because Chinatown is humongous. Um, and then we transition to shoot. We gotta finish because it's 7:30. Um, Lee is talking to Elliot. And he sees these guys and he was like, "Who are they? They aren't part of my protective detail." Um, and then Elliot and Lee get into a conversation about what happened to Kathy. Lee said he looked up what happened to Kathy. Elliot says it only becomes a real tragedy if justice isn't served. And I was like, ouch, because technically justice wasn't really served per se. Like court wise, no. We don't know if Wheatley's actually dead or not. They never fully confirmed. So we don't know if true justice was ever served for Kathy. Anyway, you wrote it's been a long time since Kathy has been mentioned. Correct?
I don't think it's been since that episode, the one where that episode, I think.
You also said that then the guy says you and Jennifer, he looks at Elliot and said you and Jennifer would get along. Um and then we transition to Jet and Jamie in this like the most touristy attire thing
Mm-hmm.
ever. Like Jet is wearing Uggs and they both have like green NYC hats.
Mm-hmm.
And Jet has a map and they're gaining hot dogs, and they're undercover as a couple again because apparently that just works whenever they need it. Because they got Jet being like, "Oh, honey, we should take the looks like I wrote the line down. It says, "Looks like we need to take the 8 train, honey." And I was like, "Oh, I was
And the
correct
couple
about the tourist thing.
yeah.
Was not predicting the couple thing. Cool." Uh,
I found a
and
figure of their hats were matching and they were together.
I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't like putting
Anyway,
that together. And then I was like, and Jamie's eating again because
they made
he's
always
literally
eating.
sitting there while they're figuring out while they're talking
Always
about like
eating.
sorry, this is what's happening. He's eating a hot dog.
I mean, you gotta fit the part. You'll see. It's like,
And then we see that Reyes is like this guy who was drawing on a bench in like this camera jacket, like totally chill, like blending in with the crowd as his like thing. And they see
he has a
Yao
camera in
and
his
Zhao
bag.
go to talk to whoever they need to,
Hmm.
and Reyes is like recording it on like his watch.
Yeah, he's
And
recording with
they get enough they get enough information that they need, and they arrest Zhao.
something.
Um, and then Elliot and Ayana and Shane are in the interrogation room, and Elliot's looking over his thing, and he says, "Impressive resume," and the guy says, "I'm an overachiever,"
Yeah,
in
so
regards to a long list of crimes.
yeah,
Um, and the guy starts talking in Chinese, and I said, whatever he said in Chinese seemed to scare Jane because her face changed. And we later find out that the reason the guy said that Jennifer and Elliot would get along is Jennifer helped this young woman, her name was Lily, um, at her shelter because Lily was a victim of sex trafficking. And she's helped many other girls get out of sex trafficking and build their lives back up again so they can be successful. Um, we find out that she was the target of the shooting, not her husband. Because of that, Lee said he's going to drop out of the race.
anyway, yeah, I was seeing it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm looking at yours you said. I'll look at that after. And I'm thinking that's what they want. We also find out that Jennifer was a trafficking survivor herself, so now she's helping other women
Hmm.
get out of it. Um, then they find out that the last person like Jennifer talked to was this woman named Mei Shen.
Hmm.
There is no record of this woman quite literally anywhere. Both Ayana and Jet are like looking over at the computer, and Jet's like, I have nothing. And they both have like this little sad moment there of they feel so bad for this woman because all they have on like no is that she was probably taken from China and brought here and sex trafficked, and that's quite literally all
There's
they
a lot
have.
of like what traffickers do.
Nothing.
They try to say they want to help provide opportunities for women in America. I mean, by going sending these women and young girls to America, but then they don't do that, and it's like it was bad. Okay, and then okay, so then the next scene is when they go to okay, so I think Elliot goes to check on um Jennifer and Lee, and he was hoping that they would find like evidence, whatever they were looking for on her phone, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to do that. But Lee gives Elliot the phone anyway, so they get the information they need and see that like this woman was the last person that Jennifer had talked to.
Yeah, and the guy says, "Guess I am a politician after all," like
Yeah,
taking his wife's phone and giving it to him.
yeah.
Um, Jamie and Bobby go to find this woman in her house, and they find her bleeding on the stairs, and she's dead. Small note. Remember that behind the scenes photo a few episodes?
Yes, yes. I looked through all of
Few.
it. I know what you're talking about, the green screen one.
No, the one where Brent was like, "This woman was nice enough to let us do a costume change in her
No.
house." I
Yes,
have a feeling that it was these episodes.
probably.
Um, anyway, um, they then the OC was like, "We're gonna do more investigating," but the fourth precinct had decided to make a move on the Black Tigers Club and
Yeah.
arrest a bunch of people. And the captain of the fourth had found the murder weapon.
Mhm.
They found that indeed, Yuzu Zhao was the shooter.
Mhm.
And luckily and thankfully, Jennifer is awake.
Mhm.
And I wrote, I really wish the guy didn't drop out because I was like, oh, that's what they want. And I didn't want them to like that.
Mhm.
But we find out that he's dropping out to take care of his wife.
Yeah,
So
which is a respectful and honorable
that's
thing
more
to do.
important. Yeah. His campaign manager, Michael Kwan, is taking his place. Well, we find out in a last bit plot twist that all the campaign funds had come from human trafficking
Yep.
because of the campaign manager, because of
Mhm.
Kwan, and now Kwan is running for mayor.
Yep.
And then at the end, there's a scene where Elliot stops by the campaign office and is talking to Kwan and is like, "You will go down for it. You will go down for this.
And I said,
I know that you were behind this. You will go down for it." And that is the end of the episode. Because now we pick up
yeah.
next week where
Not next,
deal
well,
with
really
more of the
not next
human
week, like
trafficking
2 hours from
things.
now. Not even next week,
Yeah,
like
no,
2 hours from now.
literally. My bad. I'm used to saying next week.
No, not next
Okay,
week, 2 hours
that's
from
it.
now. That's
I
all.
give this episode 3.5
Yeah.
stars. It would be 3, but the half is because of our baby getting a
Okay.
promotion.
Yes.
Better not drop this. We better
Well,
humor her about her promotion.
yes,
Also,
they better be
the
like,
fact
what's
that
up?
Ainsley has a really cute like outfit this week. I was pretty sure I sent a picture of that.
Of course you did. We always
Any
go.
cute outfits I usually
I mean,
save.
Ainsley knows the two are crazy. I mean, Ainsley knows we exist, so I think about that often.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget about that, to be quite honest.
I go, anytime I go through our podcast stuff, I see that episode and go, remember Ainsley watched that one. That was like a month
Where is
ago.
it?
No, that was, I don't know, you texted it to me. I think it's sent weird, like a file instead of a photo. I thought I saved it again. Maybe I did. Did I save it again? I thought I did.
Oh, found it.
Mm.
There's 2. So this is the first one I was looking at. Also, like the fact that she's like combining patterns. You go, queen.
Yes. Yes, she would have designed it. It is great. We love it.
That is Jet style. It is absolutely totally Jet style. And then where's the other one? There's another cute one where it's outside.
Mm-hmm.
They're both terrified of something. I'm very curious what it would be, but
It's something, a green beanie. Use a jet and a beanie.
It's gonna be.
That's what you typed in all caps, probably. Jet and a beanie.
No, I literally wrote Jet has a beanie. Yeah. All right. I think we finally got everything across.
You did it.
You should watch tonight for multiple reasons.
Go watch.
Nolan on the witness stand.
Yeah, hopefully.
Muncie, her brother, and we
And,
learn more about her history.
and the kind of their SVU's youngins get a lot of screen time in this one.
Oh yeah. And I don't really know why. Organized crime. I guess just because.
Because we love our people.
Oh, Danielle's
And
live tweet. Danielle's live gonna be
she
watching
does.
tonight. So
She always loves tweets. It's hilarious. be
we'll
entertained.
probably get live tweets from her. So
She has her drink
that's
of the night,
why you
you
can
know.
watch that.
We'll find out what it is. Like, anyway, that is all. We'll see you all soon, cause well, maybe not soon,
All
but
right, Billy will hopefully get this out as soon as possible. Thank you
Okay.
for listening.
Cause I'm put record, get the Zoom, put the Zoom in the thing, download the thing, download the iMovie. Then put the iMovie on Anchor. It's not called Anchor. It's called Spotify
Go
Podcast.
work your magic.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm gonna
all right,
stop
that's fine.
talking so you can go work your magic.
Cause I'm hungry. I have to go eat. All right. Goodbye.
Wait, how long
Bye.
does it take you to how long does it take you to do this?
To go get the food. It's literally like 5 minutes away. So I'll be back in like 20 minutes, maybe. I might be back faster than 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, no, sorry, I was seeing something else. I'm gonna
Okay, I
send
was
it.
like, nobody. Okay, anyway, that was all. We gotta go. We're on a time crunch.
Yeah,
So
go put this in the exporter. Go do
yes,
it.
all right. Love all you
Thank you
people.
for
Thank you for
listening.
supporting us.
We love you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.